What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. One thing I've always kind of curiously wondered about is what most therapists really think about their clients. The emphasis of therapy is on the thoughts and feelings our clients are having, not the ones that we have. But we also know that the genuine positive regard between a therapist and a client is one of the critical components involved in how successful treatment is with a client. In 2019, an APA task force released a meta-analysis that revealed, surprise, surprise, that the therapeutic relationship is at least as powerful as the intervention utilized itself, if not more. And though there must be many variables that contribute to a positive therapy relationship, I'm sure it can only help when a therapist has warm, positive feelings towards their clients. So for today's video, I put a poll out on Instagram inviting you all to share how you really feel towards your clients, and I'm sharing the results here today. Thank you so much to all of you who participated in this survey, because this video wouldn't be able to exist without your help. When I put out this poll, I had 5 separate questions that I asked about, so I'll go ahead and read some of the responses to each of the questions. Not everyone responded to every single question, so some questions have like 50-something responses and some have closer to 70. So I'd also take some of these responses with a grain of salt, because I'm imagining some folks who declined to respond probably had a reason for not responding to a specific question. We can't know for sure, of course, but we'll just be mindful of that as we go through these. So the first question I asked of therapists was, what is the primary emotion you feel towards the majority of your clients? There was this overwhelmingly positive sense of warmth, empathy, and care towards people's clients. And as I look through the responses, the number of people who named compassion, empathy, fondness, care, warmth, or something in that realm was 27 of people who responded to this question. And the other responses are all in the same vein. 3 people responded saying joy. 3 people responded saying gratitude. Some of the people named excitement and curiosity as some of the emotions that they felt. And then we did receive some sort of miscellaneous responses that didn't necessarily fit into one of these other categories, though largely they're all positive. Again, keep in mind that people may have self-selected out of responding if they didn't maybe have such positive emotions towards their clients, but just to see how many therapists have a generally positive feeling towards most of their clients is really lovely to see. So the next question was kind of targeted towards getting at that, like, what are therapists really thinking of their clients? And the question I asked was, what do you think about your clients who are really struggling? They're having trouble moving past whatever it is kind of their stuck point. What do therapists really think of that? One primary category that popped up more than the others is, I hope I'm helping. So some examples of responses that fell in this category include, I hope I can make a difference with them. I see how much they're trying and I hope that I am helping. And I wonder if I'm doing enough to help them. And it goes on and on. So there's this very natural human reaction that a lot of therapists are having towards their clients who seem to be really struggling, to basically say, hey, is what I'm doing enough? Or I sure hope what I'm doing is helping them. This is probably a good place to start without overly beating ourselves up about it, to say, let's see if the way I'm helping this client is actually helpful. I'm kind of chuckling at the next category of responses, because this particular question was about what you really think about your clients who are struggling. Still, some therapists responded with emotion words, which is what we do. I mean, can we help ourselves? I do this all the time. A lot of therapists responded with empathy and worry as their thoughts towards their clients who are really struggling. Somebody says empathy, someone else says I cry, of course, after the session's over. Compassion, worry, I just want to hug this person. So it kind of sounds like for some therapists, at least, their emotions of concern and worry for their clients kind of drive whatever it might be that they're thinking about their client. And the next category of responses was kind of reflecting on how great the clients are doing given the circumstances that they're in. I labeled this, clients are going through a lot and trying their best. So some example responses in this category is that they must really be struggling and that's got to be tough. Or I think that there are parts of them that are also reaching towards help and healing, even though they're struggling. Maybe they have a lot of baggage and trauma stored up. They're human. It makes sense based on their lived experience. Yes, this is what I often think about clients who seem like they're kind of stuck in a situation, really struggling, that given the circumstances that they're in, it makes sense to me that they might still be struggling with the same thing for a while. And I think kind of piggybacking on this concept, another category that came up was kind of feeling proud of our clients or seeing our clients as being brave and courageous. One person responded, they are brave and genuinely scared, heroes, how brave they are to seek help under such exhausting circumstances. The pain they experience can be intense, and they are brave to show up to work through it. Now, the next category of responses to this question feels a little bit similar to the first category, but folks are maybe just being a little bit more self-reflective on it. So I called this like, how can I be helpful and what am I doing wrong? So it's not just like, I hope I'm helping, but kind of this wondering of like, Am I really helping though? Somebody says, I always assume I'm doing something wrong. Somebody else says, what am I doing wrong as their therapist? Trying to kind of problem solve, is there something that I'm missing here? The next one really makes sense to me. Frustration. I feel their pain and sometimes get frustrated at their slow trust in the process of change. That they need extra support or they aren't really trying outside of session. I think it's really natural to start getting frustrated, especially if we already went through the line of reasoning of like, is there anything I could do to improve? Anything I'm missing here? And if you kind of check those boxes, get some consult help, and it sort of feels like I'm checking all the boxes I can and this person's not really implementing the stuff that we've been talking about, it's natural to start feeling frustrated in those situations. And the next category of responses is more hopeful. If they had a good support system, that would help drastically, and I'm hopeful. I believe in them and I'm hopeful. Sometimes we have to hold space for hope, which I think is so much of what we do for our clients as therapists. We have to hold on to some level of hope that things could improve for our clients in order to be able to successfully keep working with them. The next thing I wanted to ask therapists about what they really thought about their clients was, hey, do you ever think about your clients outside of sort of normal work hours? So for this question, I put it just loosely into 3 categories of how many people responded yes, how many people responded sometimes, it depends, and how many people said rarely, I almost never think about my clients. People who offered a kind of resounding yes, I think about my clients outside of work hours was 48 of the people who responded. People who said, oh, I sometimes think about my clients outside of session was 18 people. And people who said rarely or barely was only 5 people of those who responded. So that tells us that at least of the people who decided to respond to this question on Instagram, almost all of them are thinking about their clients at least sometimes, and most people think about their clients a lot. So let's read some of the more specifics on what people said about what kinds of things they're thinking about when they think about their clients. Somebody says, yes, usually what to do next session. Yes, ideas that may help. Wondering how best to help them. I mean, there's a theme there. Here's another category. Yes, if they are okay. Yes, I wonder how they are, especially if I haven't seen them in a bit. Ooh, yeah, I definitely relate with that one. Like if somebody's coming every week and then something pops up, they cancel their next session, and then like weeks go by and you never hear from them. It's sort of like, I hope they're okay. Is everything okay? Should I check on them? No, I should wait. A lot of the responses here also acknowledge, like when you see reminders of your clients outside in the real world, things that remind me of them, I share it with them with some humor next time. Someone else says, I hear items on books and podcasts that relate to our work. I typically jot it down and share. And then other people acknowledge thinking about their clients if they knew there was something significant going on or they just went through something really significant, that they're just expressing concern and care, kind of good thoughts towards their clients. For example, somebody says, yes, I sometimes wonder how they're doing on a particular task or event they talked about in session. It makes sense to me that therapists are thinking about their clients outside of session. For some of us, we're meeting with the same individual for an hour every single week, talking about really intimate details about their lives. I don't have any friends that I see every week for a full hour and where that entire hour is just like completely focused on them and their needs. So yeah, it makes sense that these individuals that we spend so much time and care with, that they're on our mind throughout the week. I'm kind of curious to switch over to the folks who said that they rarely think about their clients to see what they elaborated on there. One person says, rarely. If there's a high risk or highly stressful situation, I worry about missing something. Of course, I mean, what therapist doesn't? Someone else says, seldom. If so, it's processing their growth and what part of the process provided the most help for them. Okay, kind of like analytically minded person. Well, I thought this was telling, at least for the folks who decided to respond to this question and share more. Most of them do think about their clients quite a bit, and the types of things people are thinking about are, again, loving, caring thoughts. Now, the next question I asked was definitely a leading question. Actually, the last question I asked was also a bit leading, but I was really curious to find out, have you learned about yourself from your clients? So it kind of naturally pulls people to say, yeah, sure, I've learned about myself. I mean, it is noteworthy that fewer people responded to this question than some of the other questions. So if somebody was reflecting saying, I'm not really sure if I've learned anything about myself from my clients, they're probably not just going to be like, no. It's worth noting, nobody answered no to this question. So I'm thinking anyone who felt like the answer might be like, not really, or I can't think of anything, just skipped it. With that said, most of the people who responded to the other questions still responded to this question, and generally, people are saying, yes, I learn a lot of stuff from my clients. Some categories of learning that therapists describe learning from their clients are personal growth / coping skills. One therapist said they learned strength and resilience. Somebody else says, yes, how to cope with anxious thoughts of my own. So a lot of like personal growth, kind of coping skills type learnings that therapists say they've received from their clients. And another category of responses that therapists name is some of their own personality traits. This one directly says, yes, they've told me I'm very friendly. So that's nice when your client tells you something nice about who you are. Somebody else says, yes, I'm very caring. So much, lots about how fragile my ego can be and my people-pleasing tendencies. And the next category of responses that therapists offered to this question is that their clients kind of act as a mirror so that they can learn more about themselves by observing their client. One person says, all the time, I am them, I am capable or have felt like them. Yes, sometimes it can be a mirror, shine light on my own thinking patterns or behaviors, and their resilience is sometimes just so inspiring. If we're able to see that we are equals, I could be going through the same thing my client's going through, vice versa, then it helps equalize the therapeutic process, even though there's kind of an inherent hierarchy built in, and that like I'm supposed to be helping you through something and not the other way around right now. All right, the last question I wanted to ask, I genuinely was not sure what kind of answer I would get, just because so many therapists can be overworked, can be underpaid, and so burnout is pretty prevalent amongst therapists, unfortunately. So the question that I asked, generally, do you look forward to seeing your clients? Now, I categorize the responses to this question as like, mostly yes, I look forward to seeing the majority of my clients, or some of my clients I look forward to kind of having a mixed response, some I don't. And then the category of, no, I do not look forward to seeing my clients. And overall, again, at least of those who responded to this question, the majority of therapists who responded said they do look forward to seeing their clients. And then the category of sometimes some of my clients I look forward to seeing, or kind of it depends, there were 4 people who responded with that response. And of people who replied, only one person acknowledges unfortunately, that they don't really look forward to seeing their clients. And they phrased it as, I'm sure I have, but I can't remember it right now. And they had one of those little melting face emojis next to their response as well. Oh, that's tough. There could be a number of reasons why somebody doesn't look forward to seeing their client. Everyone's had at least one client that they're like, I'm not looking forward to seeing this client. Not everyone can like each other equally, can like all of the work the exact same amount, and that's normal and it's okay. When I put this poll out on Instagram, I also created an option for people to just kind of offer their own commentary, whatever they want, with extra comments. A few people responded, I realize I'm just happier if I work within my niche, less stress and less work. Ooh, yes, I feel ya. I'm so glad that I get to help others in this capacity. I believe it's an incredibly brave thing to reach out to and start working with a therapist. Yes. In general, I'm so honored that people share the deep parts of themselves with me. Love my clients. I mean, people are just sharing general positive regard for just the privilege of the type of work that we get to do, that our clients are showing up and leaning into the hard work that it takes to do therapy. I'm gonna invite your feedback on this one, y'all, because somebody said, the tone of these questions assume we dislike or judge our clients. Don't make assumptions. I'm sorry. That's definitely not an assumption that I'm certainly aware of making. I was actually hoping that I would hear responses like what we've had here, but I wanted to read this response out loud because, you know, there's something about putting yourself out there on the internet that, you know, if you have blind spots, other people might start to catch them for you. So if I missed something, if there's anything about the questions that I asked here that seem presumptuous, that people dislike or judge their clients, please let me know, because I would like to learn and grow too, and I don't want to do that. Thank you, commenter, for your thoughts. Wow. Well, again, thank you to everyone who offered your replies to these questions, and I hope you found everyone's responses as heartwarming as I found them. Like kind of just restores my faith in the profession and humans in general. We intend well, and we genuinely care about the people that we work with, and we can only hope that offering that kind of kindness and compassion into the ether towards our clients can only benefit them. And before we close, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes.com for sponsoring this video. Therapy Notes is an all-inclusive practice practice management system, helping with scheduling, notes, and billing. They have a HIPAA-secure telehealth platform and just generally keep your practice running smoothly. If you'd like to check out TherapyNotes, you can get 2 months to try it for free with no commitment just by clicking the link in the description of this video. I hope you enjoyed viewing this video as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I'm just so grateful to all of you who responded, and I really like hearing some of the humanity behind therapists' experiences. If there's any other questions you're curious to ask therapists, let me know in the comments below, because I really enjoy doing these sort of poll style videos, and I'd be curious what else we might be able to learn from therapists. And until next time, from one therapist to another, I wish you well.